You may begin.
All right, my name is Andrew Phelps. I'm 17 years old, and this is my transition speech. As many of you know, I have a pretty athletic family. My dad went to John Babs Memorial High School, and he was a 4-year varsity sport player for football, basketball, and baseball. And he was a really good athlete. He actually got an offer from Penn State to come down and look at their basketball facilities, which, for those of you who know, Penn State is a D1 school. But like most Mainers at the time, he decided to stay in Maine and go to UMaine Machias. My mom was also a really competitive athlete. She played field hockey and softball, and she went on to go to college at BC, and she played field hockey for their club team. And then, yeah, all of my older siblings also were really athletic. So there's one person I'd like to go more in depth on, and that would be my eldest sister, Megan. She, like me, went on, or hopefully like me, went on to play 4 years of college basketball. And she went to Bowdoin, which is a really good school. She was fairly smart. And then she moved on to graduate school at Regis, where she was a grad assistant, which meant she helped coach the basketball team, which was really nice because it actually covered her tuition there, so she got to coach and go to school for free. So that was really nice. But yeah, I think Megan really embodies the passion for the game that I have, because she's the only one of my siblings who went on and had played 4 years of college basketball. And yeah, now she's coming back to Bowdoin to her to help assistant coach the women's basketball team. And I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, to go more in depth on my family history, I have a story behind this picture. Most families, when they sit around and they're thinking of ideas of what to do for a Christmas photo, they think, oh, let's have a professional photographer take our pictures and we'll all get dressed up, look nice in sweaters and button-up shirts. But my family was a little different. We decided to throw on our basketball uniforms and go down to the Pematic gym and get a picture. And so yeah, that was definitely very telling of how my childhood was. It was just very different. And then even on the weekends when we were sitting around at home, most of the time that didn't last long. We'd either go hiking or go play golf or just go shoot around at the gym. And yeah, so my childhood was just really filled with athletics and playing sports. So that led to middle school sports. I played football, basketball, and baseball. And baseball was a sport that I enjoyed, but I didn't really have a passion for. So that's why I ended my career in 8th grade and decided not to continue on in high school. But for football and basketball, I played through middle school to high school. And in middle school, we had really good success. We always had a winning season for football. And for basketball, we actually went undefeated and won the championship in 7th grade. And I think that's really showing of what happened this year in my high school sports, because all of the hard work that was put into the middle school sports for me and all of my friends that were on the teams really paid off, because this year, football, we won Northern Maines, which was impressive because no other team before had won Northern Maines. And then obviously for basketball, we won states, and no other team had done that. And so this really, my passion for the game is really what drove me through middle school and high school. And so it was kind of obvious for me what my favorite career would be. And so that led me, and Megan led me, to interview Jason Ashur. He was on the NDI's boys basketball team in 1995, who went to states, but they didn't win. He was an amazing player. He decided to go to a prep school for his first year out of high school, and the prep school was a really good school, and it really helped him see all the talent throughout his age group and how he stacked up to them. And he ended up going to a D2 school, which is really impressive coming out of NDI. And then he played a little in the D League, seeing the competition and comparing himself. And then he decided to move on to the first division in Israel. And this was a pretty interesting move at the time, because it was right around the time 9/11 had just happened, and so his family was very concerned that he'd get put in a dangerous situation or something like that. But his passion for the game just drove him, and he decided to say, screw it, I'm going to go play. and I think that was really impressive. So my overview of my own plan was to continue through high school and talk to more college coaches, like really see which school would be the right fit for me. And hopefully I would apply to those schools and get accepted. And then from there it's a little fuzzy on how to get overseas. But like basically what you could do is you could talk to like an executive league member, or you could try out for the team and see how you do. And hopefully the pie in the sky goal would be to play on a foreign professional team. So these were the 3 colleges that I decided to choose. This is because I filled out like recruitment information for these schools, and their coaches have been talking to me a little bit. And so these are all like really good schools. So hopefully, I've been talking to Ms. Rao, and she said that I could probably get into these schools. So hopefully that will happen. And the school I decided to go more in depth on was Colby, and that's just because I've talked to their coach more than the other coaches. But also I've been to the campus, and it's like a nice school. So the basic requirements were 4 years of English, 3 years of a single world language, 3 years of mathematics, 2 years of laboratory science, 2 years of history or social science, and 2 years of other college prep electives. And obviously it would go down to more than that, like SAT scores and other things like that. But as I said, I've been talking to Ms. Rao, and I think I could get in, and she also thinks I could get in. So from there, it's hard to say like what I would do exactly to get to one of these leagues, but it would most likely have to be messaging between an executive and then going and trying out on their team. And so these were 3 leagues that I thought about. They're the top of the foreign leagues, and they're really good competition. So this would really be a stretch for me, but I hope I could do it. So the 3 leagues are the EuroLeague, the CBA, and the Turkish Basketball League. And the league that I liked the best after researching was the CBA. For those of you who may know Jimmer Fredette, he was a player at BYU, and he was really good, and he sort of busted in the NBA. He didn't live up to his potential, but he's gone over there, and the amount he has grown has just been tremendous. He's averaging 37 points a game, which for those of you who follow the NBA, the most they average is 30 points, and so he's playing like tremendous basketball, and that's someone who I could see like someone I looked up to. And like, yeah, and also the pay is really nice. They pay out a lot to their players, and like I said, a lot of players who don't quite make it in the NBA, they go overseas to leagues, and the CBA isn't one of the big leagues that they go to, and so the competition is like just below the NBA. It's still crazy good. And obviously there are many barriers to this goal. I don't speak Chinese, so that would be a big problem. Like just going out into everyday life would be really hard for me because I don't speak Chinese. Also, leaving home would be a big deal. Hopefully after college it would be easier, but like right now the maximum I've left home for is like 1 week for a summer basketball camp. So hopefully after leaving for 4 years of college, I'll be able to leave home and survive. And honestly, this will have an impact on my family because I'll be so far away and in such a different environment that they'll probably worry for me and they'll want to be in contact a lot. So that would be a big impact. But I mean, overall, if I got to go play professional ball and get paid to do it, that would just be tremendous. Like, there's nothing that I'd rather do besides that. So yeah, that is my transition speech, and that's my goal.
Questions for Andrew?
Can you explain the CBA a bit more?
Well, the CBA stands for the Chinese Basketball Association, and it's really very similar to the NBA. It's just located in China. So like, they have a regular season and they play competitively, and then they have the same sort of bracket for the playoffs. And yeah, so it's very similar to the NBA. Any other questions?
Wasn't there a guy, NBA player from China about like 10 years ago who was
Yao
all
Ming?
the sensation?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And he's a big dude, right?
Yeah, he was 7'6", I think, and he could have been like one of the best players in the NBA, but his career ended early on injuries.
Yeah.
So that was.
When you're that big and you get huge
Yeah.
guys all around you, it's pretty hard to stay healthy.
But yeah, the years he played, he was very dominant.
Was he? Is that unusual in China to be that big?
I guess I don't really know the genetics behind that, but
Is that unusual anywhere?
yeah, no, it definitely is very unusual. But normally, if you do grow to be over 7 feet, you have a good chance of making it in the NBA just because you have the physical advantage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, like I know there's a guy who plays really, really like low-level D1 basketball in Florida, except he's like 7'8" or something.
Bowl. Or no, Taco.
Yeah, that guy. Except he's not like really skilled. I mean, he plays low-level D1, but I mean, as far as basketball.
Like he can stand on the ground and hold on to the rim.
Yeah,
like,
he's just
it's
massive,
ridiculous.
and so like he's getting scouted by NBA scouts and stuff just because of how big he is.
Yeah, it's dumb, but it's helpful.
Yeah,
It works.
Yeah.
You make it the ball.
Yeah.
You quickly went over what the requirements are for Colby, right?
Yeah.
But you didn't really share anything about like what are you doing right now academically that would put you in good standing for some of those schools. Those are pretty competitive schools.
Yeah, and I know that those.
What kind of things have you done?
Well, I'm in NHS, as a lot of people are, but I've also been taking AP classes and.
Such as?
Well, next year I'm signed up for 3 AP classes that go all year: AP Calc, AP Bio, and AP Gov and Pol. And then this year I took AP Stats and AP Chemistry, and so I'm trying to take harder classes to get above. And then also I play football and basketball, and so yeah, Miss Rao and me have been talking, or Miss Rao and I have been talking, and she seems to think that I definitely should get in. So
You got to practice being a self-promoter, man.
Mhm.
Like that's 5 AP classes. That is a lot, Andrew. And you know that should be front and center. Like I'm all in on the AP front.
all right.
And you survived.
Yeah.
You did well in those classes, right?
Well, I haven't taken 3 of them yet. So.
But this year.
Yeah, this year I did well in the 2 classes.
And you took the tests.
Yeah.
And when do you guys find out about those tests?
July.
Not that anyone's counting, right?
Yeah.
Promote yourself that way. Like
Alright.
that's a huge achievement. I never did that.
Yeah.
Talk to a lot of your teachers. I bet you a lot of your teachers never took AP classes. You know? What other questions, you guys?
What do you think will be your college degree?
See, that's where I'm a little uncertain. Like, I've had so many ideas just floating around. Like just a random one off the top of my head is like being a chiropractor. Like, I have no idea where that came from, but like that was one of the top ideas that I was thinking about. And so, yeah, I don't really know, but it's definitely something I'm trying to focus in on and like find an actual career path that I could follow.
Do you think you'd consider, like especially when talking about career paths, like going into a career where you continue on in this, like being a trainer for?
Yeah, I definitely, my sister, Sarah, is actually doing that, and I could definitely see myself doing that. Like, but I wouldn't want to be like just a personal trainer for like, I'd want to get up to like where I was training like maybe like college athletes or like maybe professional athletes, but that's like a really hard thing to do. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Good for Andrew.